Hello, this is Mr. Benedetto, your librarian, and today we are going to do a very quick workshop on locating physical resources in the library. It's a 6th grade tutorial that will help you develop, use, and revise your search strategies. The reason we're doing this is because I've noticed on one of the tests that we took on the trails that everybody had some difficulty locating physical materials in the library. And since you will be in the middle school and you do not have a fixed library class, this is made for your reference, which you can find on the library page. So our focus today will be locating information in the library. 1, how fiction books are organized, how nonfiction books are organized, and how to read shelves to find resources. So we're going to take a look at how fiction is organized. How do we organize books in fiction? So we take a look at 4 books, and as you can see, we have titles and authors. When we have a book, the title appears on the spine, and at the bottom is the call number that you will use to organize fiction. So how is fiction organized? It goes by author first, then title. Let's call up these 4 books once again, and as you can see, we have highlighted the last name. This is how we're going to file them alphabetically. In addition to that, this is what they look like on the spine of a book. So for example, we have Freckle Juice as the title, and then we have the call number. This is how it'll be categorized on the shelf. All books will have FIC that are fiction, and in this case, the first 3 letters of the author's last name. So BYA would be Byers. BRO, in this case, would be Brooks. BLU for Bloom, and BLO for Bloor. Now these are not in order, so we're going to have to put these in order on the next slide. Now we need to put this into order. I notice here we have BL, BL, BR, BY. BL comes before R and Y. Which of these would come first? Hopefully you could see that it's Bloor, and that would be the first book on the shelf. Next, we would get Bloom, and then from Bloom we have BR and BY. R comes first in the alphabet, so we'll click it, and you can see that that shows up. And last we have Byers. Once again, author first, then title. Now that we've seen how fiction is organized, we're going to take a look at nonfiction. It uses something called the Dewey Decimal System. And there are 10 categories, and these 10 categories are broken into hundreds. And they do contain decimals. At the 6th grade library, everything's broken into 3 decimals. And I want you to think money when we organize it. So for the following screen, I'm going to take a snapshot of an OPAC search. And in this case, I looked up sharks, which is under 597, which is reptiles and amphibians, and that wouldn't fall under the 500s. So as you can see here, I did a search in OPAC. I have 41 records that were retrieved, and we have the call numbers with the first 3 letters of the author's last name. And if we look over here, we could see the call numbers, 597.3, 597, 597.3. So I just put these on the side. I took the first 7 documents, and we're going to have to put these in order. So let's take a look at how to do that. Now we're going to organize our numbers. As you can see here, they're set up in line, 597 with the 0.3 and a 0.77, and we're going to have to put them in order. So I'm going to take 597 first because it doesn't have a decimal. I've also noticed at the end here, it's 0.77, and it is greater than everything else, so I put that aside. Now I need to just take these and put them in the center. And now we're going to have to organize these, and which would come first? So I'm looking at the first letter. M would come first, O. I see 2 R's here, so I move to the next letter, E and E, and then I see S and Y. So it'll go Mar, One, Res, Ray, and then last Wall. As you can see, they are now in order. we would stack these up, and our next slide, we're going to take a look at what this looks like on the spine of a book. So now we're going to take a look at the decimal system, and it's number first, then the author second. So as you can see here, this is what it looks like on the spine of a book with the call numbers below. We're going to take these and organize them. So I just wanted you to see it from numbers to what it looks like on the spine with the numbers. And in this case, we're going to have to do some organization because they are out of order. I'm going to bring the numbers back up. And as you can see here, which one would come first? Take a look. 597, SIM. 597.3, MAR. 597.3, 1. 597.3, RES. 597.3, RAY. 597.3, WAL. 597.77, ALT. So now you can see that we have the titles, and then we also have the numbers of the book. So it always goes by the Dewey Decimal System first, and then the first three letters of the last name. Now that you know how a fiction book is organized and a Dewey Decimal classification number is organized, we're going to look at how to find books on a shelf. Why is this important? Well, I've noticed when students walk to the shelf, they just don't know how to read a shelf to find the information. So I want you to think, when we read books, we read from left to right. So that is how books are organized on the shelf. And we read from top to bottom. I want you to think of a regular book that you read. We read from left to right, top to bottom. This is the same idea when locating all books on shelves. So right here you can see I have two shelves, one on the left and one on the right, and we have to start somewhere. So the first place we're going to begin is going to be in the upper left. So you read straight across. As soon as you get to the end of the shelf, we have to go down. So we come down, and then we read left to right again. And where do you think we go? That's right, we go down. And we read left to right. But what happens when we get to the end of this shelf? So where do we go from here? We're going to have to go back and start the process all over. And then when you go to the top of the shelf, it's left to right. That's right, we come back down, left to right, down again, left to right. You can successfully find your books if you follow this practice. Congratulations! You now know how fiction books are organized. Do you remember what comes first? Author and the title. How about when we look at nonfiction books and how they are organized? How are they filed? Well, it's call number, then the author. And you've learned how to locate and read books on a shelf. Congratulations. If you have any questions, always reach out to the librarian in your building or myself, and we'd be more than happy to help you. Happy research!